post with Planet Logistics. My name is Christoph, I'm your host, and I'm certainly glad that you joined me today. Today, in terms of Planet Logistics, the joy of logistics, I want to show you a very simple yet effective way in terms of getting more peace to your mind when it comes down to your import and export containers, right? And today I'll be focusing solely on the transatlantic and as well solely on full container loads, as air freight is, as we already know, highly volatile, and the thing I want to talk about is not so, or doesn't apply that much for LCL. So let's get started. In addition to the topic procrastination or the costs of procrastination in current logistics, which I've been talking about last week, I want to add, and I think this makes sense if you combine them together. Today I want to talk about the power of scheduling. Okay. Reason I bring this up is I see this happening also almost on a daily basis, where BCOs fail to offer or to provide their forwarders some sort of scheduling that they can work with, and this doesn't have necessarily to be or to go into the future over the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, but much rather, and this is more important, looking more into the next upcoming month. Reason I bring this up is, as we already know, on the transatlantic, we still have a huge surplus on demand for container transport, full container transport, whether it's to the East Coast, to the Midwest, Gulf Coast, or also West Coast of the US, right? So, and this oftentimes lead to paying much more than the BCO would have to if they'd be able to adapt a little bit and adjust their internal procedures and also be more transparent in terms of expected shipments or expected cargo with their forwarder, right? So let's get started, okay? Number one, and I think that's most important because it's more or less senior to the other points, is the vessel schedule, okay? And of course, BCO doesn't necessarily have to know all the schedules by heart, but if you can tell the forwarder, look, I expect, for instance, in April, 1 container will be ready in the first week, 2 already either on second or third, and 1 last on the 4th week, for example. And this is something that the forwarder, as of today, can already work with. Okay, they can already check for the best routing and also the best price. Next thing is, when the forwarder already knows a little bit when to expect a certain container to be, or a certain amount of containers to be ready and where, they can already check, okay, with the intended vessel schedule that would match the cargo ready date, where would I pick up the empty container? Is it close to the port? Can I do a round trip, all truck? Is it somewhere further away? How is the situation there? Do I have to bring in empty containers or bring an empty container, for instance, somewhere from the Czech Republic to southern Germany, okay? And last but not least, when the forwarder has some rough idea and he's already in touch with the shipper, he can also, based on the other 2 things, because at the end of the day they all belong together and this goes hand in hand. You can't just plan on the vessel schedule without considering the other 2, but also you can't fix a loading date or empty pickup if you don't know which vessel you're going to reach, to get, right? Right? So And then also, if he knows roughly when to load, and based on the vessel schedule, he also knows the closing dates, when the full container has to be returned latest to either an inland ramp or the port. He can also choose the type of pre-carriage. For instance, do we need an all-truck round trip? Do we need maybe truck barge, truck rail, whatsoever? And based on that, he can map out the perfect setup. Now, while you may say, okay, yeah, makes sense, I get the point, Christoph, but why are you telling me that? Well, reason I bring this up is, as I see it countless times when all of a sudden you get an email, oh, I got X amount of containers ready right now, or maybe ready next week. I need the earliest pickup. And of course, by that time, because there's an excess demand for container shipments on the transatlantic right now, this oftentimes leads to higher costs. For instance, where it maybe makes sense in the first place to use some more economic ways of pre-carriage, like as I said, truck barge or truck rail, all of a sudden it could turn out that you have to plan in an round trip all truck, and this could mean an additional costs of literally thousands of euros or thousands of dollars, because obviously if the distance gets bigger, it also gets more expensive. Okay. Next thing is, because when the forwarder can't plan, can't forecast, and you tell them, hey, we need the fastest solution, well, it could also mean you're asked to pay a high premium, because then higher priced shipping lines offering more capacities, but of course coming with a higher price, this will affect you as well. So it could be easily that, let's say if everything goes well on the standard $10,000 transport these days, you could end up spending 15, 16 or 70 grand, maybe even 20 grand, just because you didn't map it out or you didn't share your forecast with your forwarder. Now I hear you, maybe you say, oh Christoph, I don't know the precise date and time when something gets ready, and maybe there is also slight delay. And that's fine, absolutely. But at the end of the day, if your forwarder roughly has an idea of how much volume to expect and also roughly when, he can do his homework, and he can plan and book maybe on different vessel schedules with different shipping lines, and then just choose the one that fits the best at the end. But this will be still more cost efficient for you, compared to you wait until everything is ready, you jump in and you say, oh, this thing is ready and it has to be picked up right now, right? I hope this is valuable to you, and if you have any questions, any ideas, please drop a comment below, send me a DM, more than happy to support you. Also, leave an abo here, and would be great if you'd also follow me on LinkedIn, #PlanetLogistics. That is for today, and you have an awesome weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.